Sports Video Group is in Miami at Media Pro for our first ever Soccer Summit Americas. Brandon Costa here from Sports Video Group. Have the pleasure now to be joined by Dana Rubin. She is a producer of NWSL Soccer. Dana, it is a pleasure to see you. It's been very nice to meet you at this event. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
This is obviously a very exciting time for the NWSL. We're fresh off of a U.S. women's national team victory at the World Cup. There's cries from the public for being able to see these players and more in the domestic league, and you guys have one. So in what ways are you, in your producer's chair, taking advantage of this opportunity and riding the wave of the popularity of the league right now and really trying to help expand where this sport is headed?
Well, I think we're in a unique position in that it's really the first time that the league has a television deal coming off the World Cup, so they're able to capitalize on this wave that does exist and the popularity of women's soccer. So, and I think it's an interesting time because it's also back-to-back years of a World Cup and an Olympics. So, hopefully, this wave will really kind of last longer than it ever has before. And I think fans want to see these players, and now they're realizing that they're playing in their backyard on a weekly basis in relatively small environments, so they can, they have access to them. They can, and the players are invested in the league succeeding as well, so they're staying to take pictures and sign autographs and meet their fans. So I think it's a really great time for the sport, and I think both the players and the TV and digital world are capitalizing on it and kind of riding this wave as long as it goes.
And you had that first ESPN match right after the World Cup. You were saying yesterday none of the World Cup players were back yet, but it was this fantastic finish in Portland, a huge crowd. I mean, what was it like to – it had to felt like one of those like perfect moments where it's like, oh, my God, it's all coming together right now.
Every once in a while, things work better than a script you could have written. We were a little bit nervous, that the first game that was going to be on ESPN for the season was before the U.S. national team players were back. All the other players from the other international teams had come back to the NWSL. But, of course, everyone was craving to want to see more of these stars who, were doing their victory tour and were getting keys to the city and, living the dream, essentially, getting flown to the ESPYs and in New York one minute and LA the next. So we weren't exactly sure, but we were hoping for the best. The Portland crowd truly never disappoints. They are the best in soccer, and yeah, the game, the players truly stepped up, as we've seen a lot of players step up while the national players were away, but we got a great performance from some great players who I think are now becoming household names.
So as a producer, what kind of stories are you trying to tell? Obviously, you're spotlighting these players that are very familiar. They're on the top of mind, the Alex Morgans, the Megan Rapinos, all of these fantastic players who wore the country's crest proudly and won a World Cup. How do you use those stars to expand and tell stories about the clubs, other players? You're trying to link things to colleges that maybe they've come through. What kind of stories are you trying to tell now in this moment?
It's really all about star building. As in most sports, that's really what gets people invested. We had the luxury in the years past when the show was on Lifetime to be able to do more features that we would air during halftime or pregame to really give you insight into some of the players on the field and hopefully get you invested in them. And then we're just trying to do that to the next level. So we try and do that during our game. Pre-game, we try and introduce a player you might not know something about and just trying to carry that through so that hopefully fans get to know new people and new faces and they are rooting for them.
Yeah. Well, Dana, we're really excited to see you and your team continue to grow the sport. Congratulations on everything so far, and thanks so much for being here.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
All right. For more coverage of everything going on here at the Soccer Summit Americas, you can visit us online at sportsvideo.org.